Oh, I just decided on Twitch Prime, thanks. You've activated me! Like a spy! Activated my trap card and made me go live by subscribing! Pedro, keep the song going! I haven't tweeted. I need to tweet! That's not Twitter. That's literally me. Oh. No, that's me again. Twitter. I actually did that sound for Pedro at the end of the piece. So it was me going. It's a little known fact. Hello, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone is good. I don't have my thing up with. I don't know why I don't have my thing up. That sounds a little bit too risque for YouTube. I didn't have my chat up, so I couldn't see the chats. How's everyone doing? I'm good. I'm like really good at the moment. I'm losing weight. I went to the doctor the other day after I had an ultrasound. All my ongoing health worries. I had a kidney infection. Had loads of pains in my back and around my kidneys. And obviously after I'd cleared that kidney infection, I still had them. So it was really, really, pretty lame. I was like, oh God, I'm dead. I'm gonna die. I'm done. And it was around when Total Biscuit had just died, so I was like convinced, as I suffer from anxiety, that I was going to die. True story. It's just weird how your mind works. But yeah, I went to the doctor. and they went, "We don't know what's wrong with you," so they gave me loads of tests. And I bought a new chair in the meantime, and all my back pain seems to have gone. And I think it was just back pain. I did get told by my doctor that I had a fatty liver because, you know, I'm overweight. Because all I do is sit and research, read, and play computer games. But now I'm going for an hour run a day. I'm dieting properly, and I'm doing a lot of exercise. So if anyone sees me in the future, I'm going to be fucking mega buff. Like, "Whoa!" And people will be like, "Man, that's where they got the body for the guy in Star Citizen and the girl." Who knew? Who knew? I can't words. I'm a little bit manic today, so you have to deal with that. But I mean, it'll be interesting for people. I might be a bit stuttery. I might be a bit confused about some of the things. But what we'll talk about what anyone else wants to talk about. I mean, that's the reason for these streams. If someone wants to ask me about my channel, about Star Citizen, about what I think about things, about what a specific mechanic is, I'm not employed or contracted or compensated by the Star Citizen peoples in any way, shape, or form. However, my entire job is researching Star Citizen. That's what I've made my channel, and that's what the goal of what I do is to be one of, if not the most researched person on the topic. My lore is lacking. I will bow down to people like Paul Shelley, who are very good at the lore at the moment. At some point, I'll give you a run for your money on the lore. And some of the stuff I know pretty well with lore, but the actual core concepts of the game, the news, and that sort of stuff, mechanics of working, how they're supposed to work, how they're probably going to work, all the different articles and videos that other people have put up, that is what I research and learn and read and summarize every day. And I regularly talk to Neberfire as well. Me and Neberfire are very good friends, and because of that relationship, we are able to both do better as content creators. That's how I feel anyway. You might call me a cockend behind my back, but I'm pretty sure we're pretty good mates. Pretty good mates. If I ever have to leave the UK, I will be fleeing to his house in the Canadas. Right, Agent Gamer, priority communique from HQ. We await your report on the 3.3/3.3.5 updates, as well as the Hammerhead. Do you copy over? JP's Eyes, how's it going, dude? Hope you're doing well. Me and JP's Eyes, we used to talk loads. Don't talk so much at the moment. He's, you had a shit time, bro. Love your face. I will talk about some of the 3.3.5 stuff and the split in a bit. I missed the beginning of the live stream. Did they mention the final Hammerhead size? So the Hammerhead is around the same size, if not exactly the same size, as it appears on the website currently. They haven't increased its size like that. However, some of the unused space that was internal, they've used to put another room there, which is going to be a kitchen, which is effectively on its own deck. So they use that for some of the unused space. It's also got enough room to have as a rover, it seems, in it. I think, was it 40 SCU space? Which is reasonable. It's a lot more than I thought it was going to have. Have you changed your mind on Reliant yet? No, I have not changed my mind on the Reliant yet, Jag. I spent the whole week sending you psychic messages directing you to love the best looking ship in the game. That's why I've been aroused by the 890 jump more than normal. Thanks, Jag. So I appreciate all the love. Thank you. You're home for a board gamer stream. My streams are pretty lame. Okay, so there is a plan I have in place for the future. Like, I genuinely am going to do this at some point. So I want to stream gameplay of Star Citizen at least once a week. I want to do one of these sort of like talky recaps of the news, chat to people sort of things. These are really important for me because they allow me to get a bit of a beat on what people are thinking and what they're talking about, to get involved with my community actually live, and they're just super fucking useful. But I also I'm going to be getting into Artifact and Fallout 76 and Anthem and some other games, and I want to be not necessarily creating YouTube content on them, but streaming them. So I could stream them, and then I could put the VODs up on YouTube on my second channel, BoredGamer Extra. Artifact especially, I'm very much interested in. But I'm probably going to be employing my mate Zin soon, and she's going to be doing everything that I do as well. So we basically are able to, she'll learn to edit, she'll learn to do everything that I do at the moment, so that I just have more time to do stuff, and someone else to make content with. So I can literally go, right, we're jumping in, doing this stuff in Star Citizen, researching this bit, playing some of this stuff, because I do want to get gameplay up for Star Citizen. Probably when Object Container Streaming goes live, that's when I'll start doing that much more regularly. However, with every patch, what I'll do is I'll analyze any major mission sets and any new gameplay mechanics, and at least do one sort of like full loop of that gameplay. And that could be, I suppose, between 15 minutes and 2 hours long, based on what gameplay that is. Should we expect to see Uri Geller in game? Oh my god! So I was talking about Uri Geller the other day. Okay, so Uri Geller, I'm assuming he's the psychic guy. That is Uri Geller, isn't it? Yeah. So he was, when I was younger, super respected. The American Army really was sort of like using him using him to help research, potentially using psychic powers in military stuff, and they were doing loads of research into all of this when I was younger. And now, go to modern day, I saw him on a panel show, and everyone was just ripping into him, and he was doing like stuff that he used to do, like trying to get the audience to get involved with, "Go on, who believes in ghosts" and stuff, and just no one was with him. It's so weird how times have changed. Any thoughts on the CitizenCon t-shirt with the blurred image? Want me to pick you up one? Oh, thank you very much, G Truman. However, I'm totally capable of buying one myself because I was going to buy one anyway. But thank you very much. Like I'm never going to say no to people giving me money or giving me stuff. However, I will feel guilty if they just do it all the time. So this is the image he's talking about. So for people that have the digital goodies pack, which I assume is anyone that's also bought a CitizenCon ticket or the digital goodie packet separately for CitizenCon, there is some merch you can pre-order, which is the CitizenCon t-shirt. Now, what they've done is they've redacted some bits. Now, this isn't the redacted logo from the Star Citizen group. This is something that they don't want to show us yet. So this could be the Kraken. This could be something that shows off something for CitizenCon that they don't want to show us yet. Who knows? Who knows? Not me. I don't know. I don't know why I've got 4XL selected, but you have a look at that. So I'm not sure if everyone will be able to see that. You might actually have to have a digital goodies pack to see that. Hi, board. Do you believe the Hammerhead being released, we can expect better turret experience? And do you think 3.3.5 will be with blades that can operate turrets via computers? No, I don't think the AI turrets and the NPCs using player turrets and stuff like that will be in 3.3.5. However, I don't necessarily think that the split isn't this awful thing. It's disappointing that object container streaming and Hurston and some of those other features are going to be pushed back to 3.3.5. We don't know how long that pushback's going to be. Could be a week, could be 2 weeks, could be 2 months. So my disappointment level will be based on how long that is. But we could get more features in 3.3.5 that we wouldn't have just got with 3.3, which would be great. And hopefully object container streaming is going to be a lot better because of that. The Hammerhead, they are working on better turret experiences. The Hammerhead is going to be the core gameplay of it is going to be players in turrets shooting turrets. And we know that 3.3 has a lot of turret improvements. We just don't know exactly how they're going to work until they're in our hands. Ultrasound, are you pregnant? No, I was not pregnant. I did check. I'm in Hampshire, Southampton, in the UK. I won't die. Dying is bad for my knees, that's right. You've got fatty liver as well. Well, the first thing the doctor said when she said you've got fatty liver, do you know what that means? I was like, oh yeah, I've done some research on it. She went, how much do you drink? I was like, well, you're talking about alcohol? And she said, yeah. And I was like, well, I used to drink a lot when I was young. However, over the last 5 to 10 years, I've reined that back significantly. However, if anyone's actually seen me when I've been out at a CitizenCon or Bar Citizen, I do drink a lot over the course of the day. Yeah, I drink very little. She's like, okay, so you're just fat then, loose and white. They're gonna weigh me in 6 months. But I've been pretty good straight away. I'm just gonna go bam. I'm just gonna stick to having a healthier diet. I love sushi. Yeah, I'm replacing It's my steak and beef that I always eat with salmon. I'm just going to eat a lot more sensibly. A lot less calories in the day as well, because I used to eat 4 proper meals a day because I don't sleep much, so I sleep like 6 hours a day. And apparently increasing my sleep to 8 hours a day and being a bit more sensible, so I'm doing more exercise and stuff to time me out. That will help you lose weight, apparently. I'm having the right amount of sleep, so I'm going to do a lot of different things. I'm just going to try and have a bit more of a healthy lifestyle. I'm very sedentary because of what I do, so I do have a treadmill. I'm going to go for an hour run a day. I'm going to do a load of other exercises. Object container streaming, what's up with it? When can we expect it? Will they fully come out with it, or will it be another iterative process to get it working in game? It will be partially iterative, Joe. So let's talk. We'll talk about object container streaming and everything like that in a minute, actually. And let's go through the rest of the questions quick. Did they ever fully explain how the Endeavour hangar module will work? Not really. It's going to be a large area where you can store ships. I don't think you're going to be able to call ships to there, specifically because of that module, but you will be able to get people to pick you up from there and stuff. That's what you mean. 3.3 when? 10th of October is when it's going to go live. It could go to Eva Carty as early as today, though. Will we be able to reload ship guns mid-flight? On some ships, probably.
Tricksy little
like the Mist has a reloading system for its missiles. Some ships the smaller ships might be able to go into like a Crucible and get reloaded. You're talking about literally loading guns while you're flying, though. I don't know about guns that have traditional ammo. It depends. Yeah, I suppose that it's just an item. So assuming the item's not huge, you're able to pick it up and literally slot it in. That's what I'd expect. So unless we have at least 6 friends that will be able to crew turrets, the Hammerhead is pretty much useless right now, since you can't hire AI NPCs yet. Yeah. But it's useless right now because there's no real reason to use it anyway, because there's no true reason to progress in the game. I mean, they release these ships as soon as they can to be used. So get 6 friends. Get 6 people to crew it while you're at Port of the Soul or whatever. Just put a server speaker out, or just ask people. Will I stream CitizenCon like 2017? Now, I'm away in Nottingham.
Sound for being hosted, so I decided to use
Thank you very much, Lucky Starstrike. Very much appreciate it. I love the JP Sandman as well. Thank you very much. Lots of things. Thank you very much for the host, and thank you very much for the thingamajig in my bob, the subscription. I know Noobifier and I think Twerk and some of the Redactor people are going to be streaming it. Like in 2017, so I may be streaming with them, based on how good my internet is while I'm up in Nottingham, because I'm up in Nottingham that week. I will be. The plan is to be streaming a lot while I'm there, a mixture of board games and some other games as well with the board game guys that I'm with. So there's. Well, I'll have to wait and see. I can't confirm anything yet. So now. It's weird as well, like, it's only when I flash my boobs you can see through it. When are we getting lifetime insurance on the frickin' Saber Raven? Keep on board. So, Riker, it might not be as essential as you think. Like, I think that insurance, when they talk about it in more detail, lifetime insurance isn't actually that important. And Esme said a while ago, that ships that you had purchased on your account wouldn't ever be truly lost, or you'd be able to get them back for like a small discount or whatever, potentially in UEC. We'll have to wait and see exactly how they implement insurance, is what I'm saying. But I will keep at them because I do think the Saber Raven should have lifetime insurance, because it makes people feel bad, doesn't it? Wow, I've got a heart. I've got a big heart. That stabs me deep in my heart, saying I have no heart. Will you be streaming for a while, bored? I need to go make some dinner. I'll be streaming for a while, Sheriff. I'm not sure how long it's going to take you to make dinner, so I'll be streaming for some minutes. Apologies if you've already addressed this. I just joined. Is there a part of you that fears CIG are going to slip back into regular pushbacks? Surely they would have known they weren't going to make the release date a while ago. Not necessarily. We'll talk about that in a second. And they are making the release date. They're just not putting object container streaming in, which is part of their new rotation for patches. If it's not ready, they tell us that it's not ready. Now with this, they obviously went, right, we need to dial it in more. So it looks like even with Evocati testing, it's probably going to take a bit longer. So what we'll do is we'll have a 3.3.5 patch as well, so we can get it dialed in correctly. I don't see a problem with that. It's annoying that object container streaming's taken so long. However, I mean, they're clearly working on a large amount of the game, not just object container streaming at the same time, and it's all progressing still. And my thing is that I want a game in a playable, progressible state. I want to sit down and play it for 3 days going, I don't want to sleep, I want to play game. And at the moment, I don't have that with Star Citizen because I don't have the progression. I need progression. So even with object container streaming, even 3.3.5 won't have that level of play yet. So I just want them to add more and more and more and more to get to that state. And it is all progressing. It is all progressing. Looking forward to 3.3. Looking forward to 3.2 Warp Space IE. Good job. Do I have a Hammerhead? I don't have a Hammerhead run dem. I was talking to some guys earlier that were saying, get a Hammerhead, get a Hammerhead. I was like, I do want a Hammerhead. It's just, I can't buy every fucking shipping game because it's expensive. And also, I do advocate people not necessarily buying ships because, you know, they're expensive and you can get them all in game. However, I do want one, and if I do get enough money together, I will
choose a sound
pick one up.
being hosted, so I decided to use this.
I don't want to sleep, I want to play a game, that's true. Right, thank you very much for the host, Spartagoo, I love your face. One of my mods, he's a beautiful man. Right, so, let's talk about 3.3 and 3.3.5. So, the 3.3 patch that some people, for some reason, have dubbed the Jesus patch. I'm not sure why, because it's not going to be sort of like this super game-changing thing for everyone. The game's not finished yet. It does add the most major core tech into the game, which was object container streaming. However, that is now no longer necessarily true. So they've split the 3.3 patch into 3.3 and 3.3.5, which will be the first patch after 3.3, probably. They're not planning on having a 3.3.1 patch, is what I'm saying. So the idea is that object container streaming is going to require a while longer to dial in. It's not ready yet. They're starting to work on some builds and getting some stuff out ready for CitizenCon. So they want to go, right, let's get all of this other stuff in 3.3, which is all easily obtainable. That would be all the ships and the vehicles they've talked about, the new missions, the new mission givers, face over IP stuff, FPS AI, all of that sort of stuff. However, object container streaming and the things that are reliant on it, such as Hurston, Lorville, the moons, that sort of stuff, they are, the new moons, they're all dependent on object container streaming. And that, they want to push into a 3.3.5 patch, which has no date currently planned for it. However, it's going to be between 3.3 and 3.4, and so between now and December, and it didn't sound like it was too far out. The 3.3 patch, as far as I'm aware, has not gone to Evocati yet. I have not checked my emails since I started streaming. It could go live at any point, though, and that Evocati build is supposed to have 3.3 split into 2 branches, that we can test both of them simultaneously. Well, not simultaneously, I suppose, but we have access to both of them. One that has object container streaming and one without. So the Evocati and potentially the PTU guys, so when it gets to first wave PTU, potentially you might also have access to object container streaming version of 3.3, which might also have Hurston. We don't know, and at the same time. So although people are saying it's been pushed back and delayed, it might not necessarily actually be pushed back and delayed in the same way. People might still have access to Hurston and stuff with those PTU patches. I don't know, is what I'm saying yet. Will I be getting another cat? I already have a cat. I've got a cat that died recently, who I loved very much, who I do still say night to night to every fucking night, because I'm a soppy bastard. But I do have another cat as well at the moment, and she is fucking loving the attention. She is not sad that my other cat is dead. She has just absorbed the extra attention. But once she passes, I will get another cat. But at the moment, I'm happy just giving this cat far too much attention and spoiling it rotten. What do I think of the Hawk? It's a sexy ship, not? Yeah, love the Hawk. I've got one myself. I think it's going to be great for bounty hunting, but we need to see exactly how that bounty hunting mechanic will work. I'm hoping that bounty hunting will be pretty simple, and if you take someone down with less than lethal weapons, maybe they can take a little bit more damage from less than lethal weapons, and less than lethal weapons would be very ineffective against armor. But once they get taken down with that, they're effectively dead. That would be my way of doing it, but we'll have to see how bounty hunting works in the future. Do you think that servers will be wiped for 3.3 and 3.3.5? Yes. They typically get wiped for all the minor patches, and that's going to be quite a major difference. It's the Jesus patch because we can walk on water. That might not be too dissimilar from the truth. Like, we don't know the water interaction that we're going to be able to have in 3.3.5 now. It'll be interesting. So what will we be getting in 3.3 again? Well, we'll have to wait until a little bit later today to know for 100% sure, because they're splitting the roadmap, showing 3.3 and 3.3.4, 3.3.5. But we'll be getting the mission givers, new ones, some new armor, new weapons for ships and the ground. We won't be getting Hurston, the rest stops, or the moons. That also potentially means we won't be getting the ability to rent ships in the persistent universe, as I think that is a location on Hurston that allows that. But we will be getting ship degradation and wear and tear on items and weapons. The Scramble races, which will be pretty fucking cool. Improvements to retrieval and delivery missions with the lockers being added. FPS combat missions and FPS AI. That is huge. That is a huge addition. Probably one of the most important ones now with 3.3. Asteroid mining. Improvements to mining on astral bodies. The transit systems are going to be coming with 3.3.5. Better pinging and scanning. Rental of ships and Star Marine stuff with Rec directly from in-game. Improvements to the group system, as well as face over IP and voice over IP. Again, that's probably the other super major thing. Improvements to manned and remote turrets on vehicles. Again, we need that. Item kiosk shopping improvements. We're getting lots of AI improvements with behaviors. Loads of new ships. So the Aegis Hammerhead's probably the biggest, most important ship, or the coolest ship in my opinion, coming with 3.3. We're also getting the Mustang rework, which is cool. It's got flippy uppy wings. The Constellation Phoenix, the Tumble Cyclones variants, they're all getting put in. Going to get a Castak Arms assault rifle of some description. It is an assault rifle, isn't it? Yeah, it's an assault rifle. The Hurston Dynamics Dominance series of weapons and the Hurston Dynamics Attrition series of weapons. So what else are we getting? Any other core tech? So object container streaming is obviously out. Network entity streaming, I'm assuming, is also part of 3.3.5 now. I assume network blind culling is also part of 3.3.5 now. However, some of these pieces might be put into 3.3. They are sort of like all to support object container streamers, though. There's going to be a weapon system refactor, which is incredibly important. We'll have to see exactly how that changes things. Environmental blending shaders and general optimization. So 3.3 is still relatively featureful. There's no giant extra gameplay mechanics like mining or anything. It's a shame that salvage and stuff got moved out. Object container streaming is super important, and that's what we're going to get in 3.3.5, but as well as Hurston and stuff like that. But all those other features are still in there. The FPS AI, that's super important. That will make missions very different. That will add FPS gameplay to all those missions potentially, or any of those missions potentially, as well as missions that focus on that. And we'll get some interesting ones from those two new mission givers, Clover Star Neely and Recco Begtaglia, which will give us, I think Clovis is supposed to give us salvage and reclamation missions. Obviously, we don't have salvage in 3.3, so he'll give us some placeholder ones probably in the meantime, or ones that are slightly more themed towards that, even though we might not be using those salvage mechanics. And Recco is supposed to be giving us mining ones, I think. But yeah, that's in 3.3 and 3.3.5. Hopefully 3.3.5 will also contain some other interesting bits and bobs feature-wise. Like, they might be able to fit in some other cool stuff. That's the hope. But it should mean that we have a better experience for object container streaming when it's in. And as I said, we may well have object container streaming to play around with, and even Hurston, potentially in the 3.3 PTU builds and Evocati builds. The devs talked about reloading, rearming ballistic weapons in manned turrets without outside assistance, Aegis Vulcan and Cry Astro. No, they haven't really, but I'm thinking that it might be possible in some situations, either with flying out EVAing and putting the stuff in. Some of those, some of the turrets you might be able to reload from the inside. I don't actually know. That's a really good question. Because if you can't reload easily with ballistic weapons and ammunition-based weapons, then energy weapons are going to be so superior, unless they're then balanced so that they're not. That's an interesting one. Do you think it would be worth melting my Squadron 42 into store credits to get a Connie Taurus cheaper as a standalone, or upgrade the game package that I have right now? I don't know, Nexus. It depends if you want Squadron 42 or not, doesn't it? I'm going to be playing a lot of Squadron 42. Squadron 42 is going to be the first Star Citizen experience that is truly sort of like meaningful. You see what I mean? Like, it will be a full sit down and play experience. When is 101 players per server coming out? So we can test the one Hammerhead versus 100 Argo thing they talked about in Reverse the Verse today. I actually did some bits and bobs breaking down German articles and things, but they have talked about a few times about object container streaming and server meshing. So when object container streaming comes fully online with server-side object container streaming as well, potentially that will up player counts, and they might be able to get 100, 150, 200 players in the server with those optimizations, and then server meshing as well will allow lots more servers to then mesh together. So potentially by the end of this year, you might start to see stuff like that. Is it worth going to CitizenCon? If you're a Star Citizen fan, I think it's going to be worth going. If you're able to get there and it's not going to ruin your life getting there. Unfortunately, it's so expensive to get to America, and difficult for me to get to America because I do have some mental health issues. Although I'm good and manageable, it's still, harder to get a visa. It's just difficult as well. Like, I hate traveling. It makes me super anxious, especially that distance. Are there any other mining ships planned other than the Orion and the Pioneer? If so, what are they going to be like? So they talked about in Around the Verse today, they are working on some other mining mechanics beyond what they currently already have. And this could be like mining by hand. Because one of the moons, Walla, has got like these crystal deposits on. And we actually saw crystal deposits in the 2016, the CitizenCon or the Gamescom? In CitizenCon, I want to say, with the sandworm, blah, 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 and all that sort of jazz as well. So there might be modules for other ships that allow you to mine in space. There might be some other mining that they put forward in the future. Maybe a mining vehicle for the ground. Can Bongo Cat play the Hammerhead? I don't know. I don't know, Garrett. Maybe. I'm not going to CitizenCon this year. I did want to. It's just a bit of a trek to get there, and it'd be expensive. And even other people pay. It's going to be super expensive, eh? Will we ever be able to hotkey landing permission comms instead of digging through the mobiGlas? I believe so, Riker. I believe that's the plan. To be a lot of more hotkeys and favorites and that sort of stuff to do a lot of those things. It's not a great system at the moment, is it? Cool, but not great. Flowers coming out soon? Not on the roadmap. Don't know when it's coming out. How many jobs / things to do with crewmates, especially with the massive ships in the future? Yeah, so they're going to have living areas. They're going to have lots of things that you can do on your ship, including engineering work, repair, swapping out components, stuff to help pass the time with your mobiGlas, lots of different apps on that. Little physics games like chess and things like that I think they want to do as well. You may need to eat and drink, things like that. And there's a lot of stuff they can do. We just have to see exactly what they implement. Where the Hull is the Hull C and the Genesis Starliner. Genesis Starliner, they're going to start building out after they've got the Mercury and Hercules in game. So the Mercury is going to help define the Crusader Industries line of ships, and then they're going to build out the Hercules because they know what they want to do with it, and then they'll get onto the Genesis Starliner. So that will be done at some point, but that's what the process they're going through at the moment. The Hull C, they need to get the multigrid physics tech working. So the thing with the Hull C is that it needs to compress and uncompress into its spindles. So it actually changes its physics grid shape. And then they need to be able to put cargo on it. So they need to update the cargo system to have lots more cargo types, so they can have these big containers and various different shapes of container, and then stick them all together in a lattice work for the Hull C. And they also need to work on finish off the tech, allowing the Hull C to compress and uncompress. And they can, with that tech as well, that allows parasite docking for the P-52, I believe, as well as ship-to-ship docking, things like that. If CIG offered to hire contract you as a community relations consultant, which I think they need, would you consider? Could you remain objective? I would consider it, but I don't know. Like, they probably wouldn't let me continue my channel. Do you know what I mean? And then, anytime I said anything, they'd be like, chill. People, it would damage my believability. I think the believability that I have is because people know that I'm a Star Citizen fan, but I don't play Star Citizen like constantly every day. I watch a lot of Star Citizen. I play a reasonable amount, but I play a lot of other games as well. And I'm relatively realistic about Star Citizen. However, I mean, I get release dates wrong all the fucking time. I'm definitely optimistic with release dates. But I just report on their news. The only thing I've ever been given by them is this teacup and saucer. I'm not compensated in any other way other than I once received a teacup and saucer. Someone said that to me in one of my videos. Oh my god, occasionally I get trolled so hard. Like, people are like, oh, you say in your disclaimer at the bottom of your videos that you're not paid in any way by CIG. That probably means that you're compensated. That's a dirty get out clause and things like that. I go, wow, your mental gymnastics is strong. No, I say that at the bottom so that people don't have to keep on going, how much does CIG pay you? They don't pay me anything. I'm not contracted by them. They don't give me anything because I'm an independent creator. I follow Star Citizen, and if for some reason I don't want to, I won't. But I will follow the project warts and all now. That's because that's what my job has effectively become. It doesn't matter. I don't need to jump in and defend Star Citizen for anything. Star Citizen doing great or bad or whatever is semi-relevant. I will report on it, whatever. I'm hoping to be able to do loads of gameplay content on it as well. Like, I love the game. I think it's great. I think it's an amazing project. I think I probably love the project more than I love the game. The community is amazing. Like, it's awesome. But it's really interesting as well for me because it gets trolled so aggressively by people that seem to declare everything that Star Citizen does as evil, incorrect, morally incorrect, a proof of a scam or something, and then sort of like glorify that. Like, ha! Victory! I go, oh wow, that's impressive. Why?
Dodging bullets, like,
Thank you very much. I will try and keep up the good work. That was me just having a rant. But I don't understand it. Like, there's room for people's opinions, whatever they are, in pretty much every circumstance. I think platforming ideas that are stupid is the best way to disprove them and make them look ridiculous. And that's the case of Star Citizen hate, and Star Citizen is super pro Star Citizen. Like, there's stuff that Star Citizen does wrong. Of course there fucking is. And I mean, we've been waiting for ages for it. I mean, that's one of the things that's been done terribly wrong, the scheduling. But I know that's because they're trying to build a great game, and I love covering the project. I love being part of it. I love being able to play it now. You know, it's all interesting, isn't it? I do think they need a community relations consultant to vet their marketing, their sales, ATVs, press releases, someone that literally plays the game very regularly, someone that's in contact with the community, someone that doesn't get in trouble whatever they do or say. Like, they need to be above sort of like any form of restriction, so they can go, yeah, I can say Star Citizen shit if I want to. Like, that's the sort of stuff you need. With the object container streaming, is the minimum PC requirements for performance going to change? Dano, it should. So, okay, so one of the things they want to do with object container streaming is add more things into the game. So again, it's a bit of a balancing act. So they go, we've got more resources that we can now use. So it might tilt the other way. However, object container streaming will lower the amount of memory needed to play the game. It should make multi-core and multi-threaded stuff a lot more viable. So it should, in theory, lower the minimum requirements in general. I mean, it almost certainly will, but we'll have to wait and see until it's in our actually hands. Oh my god, that was the worst sentence I've ever said. We'll have to actually wait and see when it's in our hands. That will do. Bored, when the Evocati is released, will Evocati be able to take screenshots and share them with the community? No, unless they've changed anything they say. The Evocati stuff is NDA'd. That is no sharing of videos. You're not allowed to talk about specific patch content. And you're not allowed to share screenshots or all that sort of stuff either. Once it goes to first wave PTU, then it's
tricksy little hobbits.
We're able to talk about the patch and all that sort of stuff and share videos and things. However, technically, you're still not allowed to share, well, and actually, anything that would have been recorded during the Evocati phase, sort of, because the NDA doesn't disappear. It's just, well, in this phase, not part of the NDA. See what I mean? Why do you not create temporary load screen to go to far planets? Because they don't want to do that. They want to do the game seamless. So literally no loading screens. That is one of the core tenets of Star Citizen. Some people may say, it would be fine if you had loading screens, though. You're about to do the game you want to do. Yeah. I'm not totally against the idea. If they originally concepted it with, to do all this cool stuff, there's going to be loading screens, though, between zones. Be okay. You have a clever loading screen. Their clever loading screen is object container streaming. But object container streaming does allow them to do a lot of core stuff as well, and it should be very resource efficient. And allows for beautiful, beautiful things and really cool sort of like cityscapes and planetscapes going, I can actually go there. I can actually go up there. That's actually happening above me. That's pretty cool. What type of ship would you like to see as the next new concept ship? I want the Drake Kraken. I want a civilian carrier ship for carrying like a mobile space station, basically. Oh, KMS. No, I can't say your name today. KWO311USMC. Thank you very much. I love your face. Thank you very much for the donation. I'm pouting at the moment because the delay/change with 3.3, but seeing your continued enthusiasm for the game genuinely brings me back to realistic expectations. I'm just looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to it as well. Like 3.3 and the rest of the stuff they've got this year is going to make Star Citizen more playable. But still not a sit down and play game. That is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for Star Citizen Beta. So a couple of years. I'm going to be playing it in the meantime. I'm going to be reporting on it in the meantime. I'm going to be understanding it in the meantime and learning how to do YouTube stuff and edit better, things like that. Expanding what I do, probably to artifact in some other games as well on my second channel. But I think Star Citizen is going to be a great game, and I love the project. Realistically, it's not the end of the world for like stuff like this. It's like, oh, there's a bit of a delay. Okay, they're still releasing 3.3 on time, and they're moving the rest of the features that they couldn't get in properly back a little bit, but they're not pushing it back all the way to 3.4. They're going, we know it's important for 3.3, so we're releasing it in 3.3.5 patch. And they told us that earlier than I would have expected. Typically, they tell us this sort of shit on the 10th of October, like the day of the release of the patch. It's not really. You go, ah! What do you expect to see at this year's CitizenCon keynote event? I don't know now. I don't expect to see anything. I want to see aliens, alien creatures, Squadron 42 stuff. I want to see a Squadron 42 release date, either at the keynote or in the roadmap stuff at the end of the whole event. I'd like to see a Squadron 42 roadmap added to the roadmap. I'd like to see major milestones added to that roadmap all the way to completion. I'd like to see the Drake Kraken. Potentially, I'd like to see Titan suits. That'd be cool. New gameplay loops, new alien biomes, alien cities, jump points. Any of the gameplay mechanics that they haven't shown yet. So science farming, anything like that. But Squadron 42 stuff they could show us would be pretty fucking awesome. However, they don't want to spoil it. That's the thing now. They've got a lot of Squadron 42 like almost ready. It's almost done, but they don't want to spoil it. Like, and genuinely, if they show too much of it, in their heads they spoil it. It's hard to hype something they can't show too much of. Do you think they will put a motorbike with a scanner for planetary exploration? I think that's going to be a thing. Yeah, I think there are going to be systems and stuff that you can scan and ping for when you're on the surface of a planet. I'm not sure how it's exactly going to work. There is the recon tumble cyclone, isn't there? And that's going to be good for that. But maybe you can get a module for a bike. Maybe the bikes will just be able to do it relatively well. Oh, Alfred, you can't grind for bits anymore. I'm sure they'd have something in the future, but you didn't need to grind for me. I appreciate it, though. I know it's speculation with the 3.3.5 patch. Could it be possible they plan to release object container streaming in stages to help identify problems easier with implementation of object container streaming cogwheels? Yeah, so, I think that's what they're going to be doing in the PTU and Evocati phases. They're going to have 2 builds of the game. And they're going to have one with object container streaming. Now, they might run that Evocati and PTU phase straight and constantly after the live 3.3 release. They might have that running parallel still, which is my expectation for them to tweak and get object container streaming dialed down. But that's what I'm thinking. Did you think money reset will remove when we're able to buy ships in game? No, I think they'll still be, because they changed databases and tweaked databases and reset databases. So even when you're able to buy and rent ships in game, in the alpha and probably the beta, they will reset that every so often and purchases you've made within game currency.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Love your face.
Thank you very much. I love your face too. That's very much appreciated. Thank you very much for the sub. I think most people are in agreement that Star Citizen is going to come out at some point. It's just taking a long time. So the game will be completed at some point. I think a more realistic worry is that will all those game mechanics be great? And realistically, not all of them will be great. A lot of them will be awesome, and I will tend towards those mechanics that I love and I think are awesome. Yeah, again, I'm saying I expect a Star Citizen sort of beta stage a couple of years' time. I want Shadow to come to Sweden. I will talk to the Shadow people at some point. I know they're expanding. So. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the love. I do get a lot of love when I stream. A lot of people just saying I'm a beautiful person. Thank you. I am an Adonis. It's just I'm a retired fat Adonis. Shadow is certainly a viable alternative to building or upgrading. I'm glad people think this. I got involved with Shadow because I tried it at an iSeries and I went, oh, this is actually really good. I wonder if it works with Star Citizen. Got home, tried it with Star Citizen, and went, oh, it runs pretty well with Star Citizen. And I was trying NVIDIA Beta out as well, the NVIDIA Now Beta, which is a similar thing. However, NVIDIA Now Beta doesn't allow me to do everything that I want. And it doesn't allow me to use all the games that I want and stuff like that. So Shadow is a Windows 10 environment gaming PC that I can stream to any device, which is great because I can do anything I want, and it's not just gaming. I can do loads of other cool stuff. I can leverage their internet connection to download videos and then compile videos and upload them and stuff. It's really useful. I really need to get a mech suit with my 2 tonks. Oh my god, the tonks are awesome. I will not be at CitizenCon, unfortunately. I do apologise. It's so hard for me to get to America at the moment. Board, has there been any talk of a concept ship that would be an ice miner for getting water? No, there hasn't. They have talked about bodies of water on land claims, briefly, saying that you would be able to exploit them in some way. I suspect there will be ice mining in some way as well. Water's going to be pretty important in space, eh? So ice mining is a good idea. Very good idea, in fact. Is it unreasonable to expect 3.5 a month later? Yeah, 3.5 it would be. 3.3.5, not so unreasonable. Hi, Board. Much love from Zimbabwe. Oh, thank you very much. You might be my only viewer from Zimbabwe. Thank you. Kind of wish they'd do an updated rerun of the vertical slice side by side with the one from last year to show improvements. That would be cool. However, I wouldn't want that as a main sort of like showpiece at CitizenCon. Like, I want new stuff. I want them to wow me. I do. The Hammerhead confirmed is growing. It's not growing. They added a second deck to it in unused space that was already there to have the kitchen. Are you still confident it will be able to come in without object container streaming in 3.3? Yes, I'm still confident of that. Is Durham Brown related to you? What, there's, like, you're calling me bald and gay? No, I don't think so. I am bald. Though I'm not the other. Not that there's anything wrong with being a magician, or a mentalist, or whatever he's now calling himself. You were live while RTV was on about the Hammerhead. No, I jumped on straight afterwards. You didn't miss anything. We'll be talking. It's just chatting. I'm just chatting. Why do you smell of bees? I don't smell of bees. It's because I'm Nicolas Cage, actually, Bug. You're not a moderator on my channel. Oh, I need to make you mod, Bug. /mod. Do not randomly ban people or me, please. Bug add-on. Surprised you're not a mod. Object container streaming needs more testing inside of CIG before the avocados get it. I think the avocados are still getting it with 3.3. I think they're doing a split build as well. So 3.3 is going to have object container streamer branch and non-object container streamer branch. That's the plan. I'll tell you once I'm allowed to tell you. Talk about Scramble races and what CIG is learning about the ground claim play from it. So Scramble races seem to put you not in an instance, but they seem to restrict some of the stuff that you can do, which is interesting. So you'll go to a location, you can start a Scramble race on the ground or in space, and then that allows you, and I'm not sure how many, but is it 8 others, 16 others, can all sort of like race towards beacons, getting to that beacon first and destroying it. I think that was the original idea. Although I think just getting to it now, touching it basically gives you points. Now, weapons can be shot in these game modes. And I say game modes, it's in the persistent universe, so weapons can be freely shot, and it won't give you a criminal rating is the idea, and you can kill your opponents and stuff, and the top 2 players, or top 2 points earners, if you kill them, you steal their points. I'm not sure if you steal all their points or some of their points. So some of the stuff they've learnt from doing these types of Scramble races is that to balance certain like bikes and things, they have to turn off the SCM mode so they can't fly off. Otherwise, they just fly off into the atmosphere and come down. Like, that's a bit of an advantage. They needed to have more powerful lights for vehicles. So now that lighting on vehicles makes stuff a lot more visible, but also makes you a lot more visible at night. Things like that. So they've just been balancing ships and vehicles and bikes together. They've also now been working on getting the passengers of the Cyclones and the rear passenger on the Dragonfly to be able to shoot as well, because in those sort of Scramble races, you need to be able to fight with everything you've got. That not all mechanics will be entirely realistic. Yeah, 100% not going to be entirely realistic. Gameplay and fun beat realism for Star Citizen. That's why they've got 1/10 solar systems, but 1/6 size planets and moons. It makes everything closer together, and the sun's 1-to-1 size actually as well, and everything look bigger. But a lot of people at CIG were hoping for some vacation time off after 3.3, but now they have to keep working to get object container streaming and Hearst now. There's only some of the teams.
I am going to buy so many spaceships.
Stormfire,
Thank you
very
for
much.
what you do for us, man.
Oh, thank you very much for the money, Stormfire. That's very much appreciated. That's a lot of beer. So I am going on holiday on the 8th of October to the 12th of October, unfortunately around CitizenCon time. But I will still be covering the event where I am. I'm going to a private LAN party with the rest of the BoredGamer guys. We're going to Senate Parks. We're going to get drunk. We're going to eat delicious food. We're going to play games. And we're going to stream as much of it as we can. there's going to be board games and there's socializing and stuff like that. And any monies I make in the streams over the next few weeks will go into buying us games, buying us beer, and buying all the other board gamer guys some thank you drinks and stuff. So, but thank you very much. Like, that's very much appreciated. I love your faces. Oh, and you've such a good supporter as well, Stormfire. I love you. Anoot, you've saved me thousands on buying a new PC by recommending Shadow. Even though I could have bought one, Shadow suited me. Waiting on visa approval from after moving countries. I still use it because it works. That's great to hear, Anoot. And thank you very much for being a great supporter of me as well. We'll talk about Eve stuff as well later. Because Anoot has donated a load of Eve stuff to me so I can use it to make a video in the future about PvP and some of the stuff that Eve Star Citizen can learn from Eve, because there are some great things that Eve does and some bad things that Eve does that Star Citizen can 100% learn from, but also some of the realizations in PvP and bored rich people. Like, if people are super rich and they get super bored, they will find unique ways to fuck you over. But I'm going to use Eve for that because that's the best game to do that, and it's going to be interspliced with Star Citizen video as well. Is it true we will be able to rent ships in 3.3? Probably not anymore. I believe the plan was to be able to rent ships in the persistent universe in 3.3. I think it is dependent on Hurston, which is now going to be in 3.3.5, which is coming sometime after 3.3. However, it might still be in 3.3, I just doubt it. However, you are going to be able to rent ships with Wreck in Arena Commander and equipment in Star Marine in 3.3, actually in-game now. That's one of the features they are putting in. What else have we got here? Is the Hammerhead too big for the current OO pad or PO pad in Port Olisar? No. It is not. It's a little bit bigger than the Starfare, isn't it? It'll be fine for that. Since you're not going to CitizenCon, are you going to live react to the stream? Soundwave, I may be on a stream with Twerk and Nubifier and people, if the internet is good enough. That's my plan, if the internet's good enough. However, I will get summary and patch notes and things like that out while I'm away on holiday. I'll take I'll get some videos pre-made, so for the 8th and 9th, I can get a video out, just sort of like already gameplayed or whatever. And then on the 10th, as soon as we've seen the primary presentation, I'll do a summary of that, and then I'll do 3.3 patch notes, and then I'll do a concept cell guide for whatever ship it is. Hopefully it's the Kraken or the Titan suit or something like that. And then there might do a little roadmappy bit summary of the whole thing at the end, based on if that gives us some cool information, and maybe a clean gameplay cut of the the presentation at CitizenCon as well. And like, if I can upscale it and make it look better, great. I'll get something like that out. And then the rest I'll do when I get back from holiday, so on the 12th or the 13th. But I may be streaming with Twerk and Nubifier based on my internet connection, on like a redacted stream I do. Bored, do you think it's likely that at CitizenCon they will do another game showing of either Hurston or a future Star Citizen thing? And will 3.3, 3.3.5 be released around CitizenCon? 3.3 will be released at CitizenCon or on the same day, 10th of October. 3.3.5, we don't know when.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
I'll keep people up to date as I can. The Deep Fryer, thank you very much for the sub. I love you very much. Do people say what's up in the UK? Yeah, just not so much. What's up, bro? What's up, dude? I say it. I say it occasionally. Shadow helped me as well. Can save up to build a tip-top PC when the game does release. Yes, that's a great reason to use Shadow. And Shadow itself will be updated very regularly as well with new hardware and software. So I'm 33 years old. What are my chances that I'll see a full release? I'm into sports and work out a lot. I also try to eat healthy. Will I make it? I'm in the same position as you. I think we'll be fine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love all your faces. Do you think object container streaming slipping the schedule again is an indication of project management problems? No, I think it's just they need to get it integrated properly thing. It takes a while. I think managing dates with things like that, they probably could have started it earlier, but then bits for Squadron 42 and other bits of the game wouldn't have progressed so much. A lot of the work does get done when they go, right, we are branching these bits out to get a build ready for this. I think there's certainly some inefficiency previously, but they are getting, they have over the last year and a half got a billion times better at project management and efficiency and pipelines and actually starting to give us stuff. So do you think releasing the full project chart would improve transparency for problems? I think them having releasing it would help transparency. But even if they just release the Squadron 42 one on there, and then all the major milestones they need to hit for release, they don't need to have the full breakdown, just the major milestones, which is fine, because they probably don't have a full breakdown yet. They will have all the major milestones that they need to hit, and then they can work it out from there. They show us all of those, and what order they're sort of semi-planned to come in, great, and then they just update us as they move along. What's my favourite board game? I don't know. I play a lot of Dead of Winter. Played a lot of Battlestar Galactica. I like all those bluff kind of ones. I'm pretty good at them. There is a board game I've never lost, but I can't remember what it's called. Rune Wars? Is it Rune Wars? Might be Rune Wars. Pretty good at that. One of the Call of Cthulhu ones, Mansions of Madness, is pretty cool. I've got the Sherlock Holmes board games, the Letters. Is it Letters from Whitechapel? No, it's not. That's a different game, but it is a Sherlock Holmes one, sort of ish. Jack the Ripper one. There's some Sherlock Holmesy ones which are pretty cool, which I'm going to be planning to play when I'm at Centre Parks around October time with all the board game guys on stream. So I played Zombicide. Zombicide's okay. I used to play a load of 40k in Warhammer, like the original Warhammer proper big fantasy battles, which I love. Loved Warhammer Quest and stuff. If I can have legal problems, if I make a little fan-made game using stuff and lore from Star Citizen, of course, for free, sharing with the community on Spectrum. Ray, if you are using assets from Star Citizen to make something like a game, you need to contact them. There are people that have done that previously, that made a Dragonfly game and stuff like that they've contacted CIG and said, I'm going to do this. It's always going to be free. Just check with them first if you're making something like that. Some people you have to check with them, like if you're making card games or if you're making things like that as well, because it's their assets after all. Yeah, people say what's up in the UK. It's not like clouds, planes, and your mum. What? Statement. I have that used Shadow, and he said. That was great, and I love it. Yep, that is true. Either Kite by weekend, potentially. It could be any hour now. Might not be ready yet. I think it probably is. Wait and see. About the Hammerhead, I would like to buy this in game. Does object container streaming being moved to 3.3.5 mean the ship won't be purchasable in 3.3? Quite possibly. The ship should be in 3.3, but I don't think it will be rentable or anything like that in 3.3. I think that it is dependent on having the Hurston location to have rentable ships in the persistent universe. What features do you think Star Citizen has that makes it worth waiting for compared to other space exploration games like EVE, Elite, and Starbound? Do you mean Starfield? Or the Starbound? I think Starfield's single player. EVE and Elite are fully fledged games you don't need to wait for. You can sit down and actually play them, as on No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky and Elite, a bit too shallow for my taste, so I don't play them. EVE, I do play EVE, and I quite enjoy EVE. I'm learning to be a bit more of a bastard in EVE as well at the moment, because I want to do some video stuff with it, so I'm having to learn PvP gameplay. I am very much a capitalist industrialist when I play games like that. I love making money in games. I love playing that sort of gameplay and controlling and organising things. I'm not as much into combat unless it's organised by someone else, in which case I jump in and I will follow orders like a fucking to the letter, as best I can anyway. So I've been, people have been teaching me PvP recently. It's not normally what I do, but done some in the past, but you have to wait for Star Citizen anyway. Like, it's not like, why should I wait for it? Well, you don't need to wait for it. You don't need to at all. Don't follow the project until it's out. If you enjoy following the project and you love seeing like the bits of it, great, and get involved. But if you don't, then don't. There's nothing you need to wait for. Squadron 42 is going to be coming out much earlier, so I love your face too, Samuel. Thank you, appreciate it. So a fairly new, cool fantasy board card game called Set the Watch. Check it out. I will. What I'm probably going to do is get into Artifact. So that's the Dota 2 sort of Valve's new card game. That's coming. I think it's open beta or closed beta or something next month. So and I'm thinking that I'll do a lot of content on that on stream at least. Like, I want a card game that I can play, I can be relatively good at, that people will come and watch me on. Not necessarily just Star Citizen and my fans that I already have at the moment, but I do want to be able to sit down and just talk. And I want to be able to talk for a couple of hours each day, really. And I like the idea of doing that in a card game. I think there's a lot of potential growth that I could do with my stream with that. Did you ever play Lord of the Rings Risk? No. I've played Risk like once. How do you imagine the gameplay around the Genesis Starliner and commercial passenger transport in general will work? Any details released for this? So the only details that have been released are the original Genesis Starliner plans for that. So you'd have passengers as cargo that would potentially have needs, and you service their needs, like whether it be drinks or whatever. Make sure that the place is clean and everything, and then you get paid for the tickets for them getting to and from their locations. Potentially, if they're more VIP-y, you might have to do something else with them or whatever, then you get money from that. It's as simple as that, I think. We won't know exactly how they implement it for the first stage, and then beyond that, until we have the shipping game and the mechanics. And that's going to be a little while in the future, because Genesis Starliner is not a priority, and they are going to do the Mercury and Hercules before it. Would you be okay with a quarterly update solely focused on performance? Once the games are released, yeah. I mean, they're not mutually exclusive, though. They can do performance optimization with each update as well. Do you think the You've got Test Flight 3.3.5 will come out before 3.3 Persistent Universe? Sort of. I think that the 3.3 Ivacati and potentially even the PTU build will be split into object container streaming and non-object container streaming branches that we can both play simultaneously. I think the idea will probably be to continuously test object container streaming at the same time, and then after 3.3 releases, still have that branch open or an updated branch, again, with object container streaming to test. I think it's something that has to be dialed in with lots of people. Haven't followed the game updates in a while. Any news on Squadron 42? We're hoping to see more at CitizenCon about it, but nothing really major. I'm not sure when the last time you delved in was, Lazy Panda. Caterpillar or Starfarer, asking about which ship is more worth to upgrade. Depends what you want to do. If you want to mine and make more money, I suspect the Starfarer is worth keeping. The Caterpillar is cool, and it's going to be modular. It's going to have some cool modules. It's going to be a bit more multi-purpose, and at the moment, good for cargo. So it's kind of up to you what you want. If you plan to be a big game hunter, and I hope they do have the ability to make money from just murdering lots of creatures on planets, and looking for big, terribly endangered wildlife and terrifying prey, would you hunt endangered animals on restricted planets? Oh god, yes! Yes. Like, if I do outlaw gameplay with my main character, it will be cheeky outlaw. It won't be sort of like the murder of everyone. I'll defend myself. Fucking yeah. I'm not going to be opposed to PvP, but I'm not going to go out and seek it out against lawful players. Any sneaky updates come recently for the Banu? Also, you are a bloody legend. Appreciate the channel. Thank you very much, Michael Fitz. So we know that the Banu Defender is currently being grey boxed, and they're doing the internal work of the Banu Defender at the moment. Once the Banu Defender is done, the materials and the style of that will be used to finish or start production in a bit more earnest state with the like grey box and stuff of that Banu Merchantman. They blocked out bits of the Merchantman and stuff. They need the Banu Defender finished first, because it represents sort of like the starting point for that race's ships. When do I expect 3.3.5 to be released? Probably a month after. So maybe early November when I'm expecting it. But that's pulling it out of my ass at the moment. I don't know, because I haven't seen the patch. I haven't seen all of those bits. Do you think they might make a mining model of the Reclaimer and add mining gears so you can equip it to that? The Orion seems so far off. Yeah, the Orion's probably a way off. Yeah, the Reclaimer might be able to be a bit modded. It might be able to have its drones a bit modded, get some new different drones in. I don't think it's supposed to be super modular or anything though, so maybe just drone gameplay might be available in the future for mining. Do you think the Vulcan will be put in before the 3 game mechanics, repair, refuel, rearm? So those gameplay mechanics, repair, refuel, and rearm, probably could come in earlier just with the drones from the Vulcan. Potentially, do you see what I mean? If it's just the drone gameplay of drone flies over here, refuels you, it's not the same as full repair, refuel, and rearm gameplay of adding all the missions through it and all that sort of stuff. So potentially you could get the Vulcan in before. We certainly could get the Vulcan in before, I suppose. But potentially you might even get some of the gameplay of the Vulcan as well. Are we going to see improvements to missions in the Mobiglass in 3.3? Yes. Not sure exactly what though. We're going to get more missions. We're going to get improvements to missions. They're tweaking the Mobiglass. They're even doing route planning and stuff like that for it. So hopefully that all adds up to more accessible, easier to get to and from missions. Not easier like difficulty wise, but you know, better accessibility to them. I'd love the Orion or heavy mining ship. The Prospector holds so little. Yeah. The Prospector also holds more than it should at the moment, which is interesting. So it artificially has more room on board because you can't detach its containers at the moment. So once you can detach the containers, they'll normalize the amount of stuff it can take. It'll also filter out the crappy stuff that you don't want in the future as well. It doesn't do that yet. What are your thoughts on sandworms? Which planets? How will they work? They might only be on Layer 3, those sandworms, but there might be some similar ones, different sizes, different colours and things on other ones. Can I lure friends out for a nice walk on the sand and watch them get eaten whole? Yeah, probably. But people will probably know that Layer 3 or some of these planets have sandworms. But that's basically what happened in the video. All those dragonflies were flying around and the worm eats them. Nom nom nom. Can't wait for face-over IP and voice-over IP. Me neither. It's going to be pretty awesome. Should add a lot more to the game. Star Citizen is all about socializing. And in the meantime, while there's no true progression, that socialization is all we've got. Or at least makes the game at the moment. So adding that was a sensible tactic. I want to see people dragged under the sand screaming. Wow, Jag. Good job. Maybe see some form of progression. In regard to the 3.5 3.3.5, not 3.5, different patch. 3.3.5 patch split. Although disappointing, I think it needs to be set. Kudos to CIG for letting us know and not waiting until CitizenCon. It's appreciated. Yes, it is more appreciated than them just shitting on us. That is true. Yeah, I mean, it's double-edged sword of open development, and them giving us a roadmap is that stuff changes. That's one of the reasons they didn't want to show us the roadmap in the way that they are now, because people get really upset when things move, things change, and it's disappointing. But yes, for me, the more information they give us, whether or not it regularly changes, like more constantly they update us on that information as it changes, the better. So they could just, and the more things, like I want to know about the how many systems have they got planned, how many planets, what all the mechanics of the game, when are they, that sort of stuff. I want to get all of the gameplay mechanics. What's the current view on each of them? What's the current design on them? I don't care if it changes massively. I just want to know what it is now. Do you know what I mean? So that's the sort of stuff. I want them to be super transparent with that sort of stuff. Mick J 7067, in fact. Thank you very much. Love you very much. I don't know why I'm saying love you very much. I'm in a weird mood. How many sandworms will be named BoredGamer? I don't know. Did we name them when we discovered them in like a No Man's Sky? Everything's called like a cockwort or something. So I picked up Shadow with your coupon. My experience at the time was untenable for any use case scenario where you needed to respond immediately. So I upgraded my internet connection. Does it work now well? Or are you saying you upgraded it because it didn't work for you? I'm interested to know your experience. Can you recommend a decent, affordable, existing, off-the-shelf camera and mic for VoIP and VoIP? Not until I have VoIP and VoIP in my hands. However, I expect that pretty much any microphone will be okay. That might not be true. I've only used good mics for a while. Camera-wise, C920 from Logitech. Amazing camera. So I suspect that will be good enough. More than good enough, probably. Microphone-wise, I will do some research because I don't want people going and just like horrible static and stuff when they talk. So I don't want to be responsible for that. Okay, I'll look into microphone. But just look for a good, preferably compressor mic, USB, on Amazon. There'll be software gates and stuff that you can use and tweaks. I use Voicemeeter and Audacity to do lots of tweaks to my voice to remove all the background sound and stuff, and a hardware voice gate. Right. I will be RB. Chair is in charge. I'm just going to go urinate very quickly. BRB. That's how I sound when I sit down now. Right. Oh, let's have a look. What do you think they'll have to show at CitizenCon to undo previous years? and avoid the inevitable internet negativity if it doesn't blow everyone's mind. I think they just have to blow everyone's mind. I want to see new biomes. I'd like to see aliens. I'd like to see alien creatures. I'd like to see some new gameplay loops. They show cool Squadron 42 stuff. That would be great. There's loads of stuff they could show. I'm assuming CitizenCon's going to be pretty good because they can effectively merge whatever they would have shown at Gamescom and CitizenCon together. So they've probably got more stuff to choose from. They don't have to choose from to split it out between Gamescom and CitizenCon. Do you see what I mean? I don't think there's that much negativity. I think Star Citizen is a bit of a meme with some mainstream people that don't watch any Star Citizen stuff. They're like, Scam Citizen or Star Citizen, what, is that out yet? Like, things like that. It's like, okay, well, with the less mature, trolly population of the internet gamers, it's always going to be like that. Always going to be like that. It doesn't matter if it's the best game ever. It doesn't matter if they play it. They will still say
that. Oh, beautiful. Neo.
Thanks. I will have a penny, Spadagu. Appreciate it. Will the AI combat be limited to ground mission NPCs, or will we start seeing them elsewhere, like on random space station encounters if you attack an NPC, etc.? The idea is eventually to have all space stations have security and not have armistice zones. So yes, you also may see them in places like Service Point Korea in the meantime, actually patrolling and fighting there. Are female models and or players still slated for 3.4? Yes. Would you like space rats in your ship? It could potentially damage your systems. Yeah, maybe. I like the idea of like little random encounters happening. But yeah, maybe. That'd be cool. Some cool stuff they could do, definitely. Do you think the bounty hunting mechanic will involve some kind of reverse agent smithing when you bring in your quarry? Oh, and good evening, sir. I don't know. There's so many ways they could do it. They could have you, once you just get taken down with lethal weapons, they could just have you respawn. Like, yeah, it counts as you being dead. This counts as what you want to do your lives. And they could have you respawn in a slaver area, potentially, and you have to, or a prison, you have to prison break or pay off something. You go, oh yeah, I have to pay this to get out, or whatever, like a jail cell, or yeah, you can get out, but you've got to bribe a guard and it costs you this much, or whatever. There's lots of ways they can do that. I mean, I don't think people are going to want to be knocked out for several hours while someone transports them. Maybe they will. They could have it that you spawn in as a random NPC that you could then go and try and rescue your guy. I mean, there's lots of stuff they could do. I think the simplest way of doing it is probably just have it that you die, lose one of your lives when you get taken down with less than lethal, and then have some mechanic that maybe means that you have to pay off someone to escape, or some sort of escaping gameplay, pretending you're on a prison planet. I don't know. There's so many ways they could do it. Since you won't be at CitizenCon for appropriate groping, oh dear. How many $bucks should I send you to have someone grope you inappropriately wherever you are at the time? Oh, I don't know. Whatever you think is an appropriate number to have my arse cheeks groped, potentially on stream by someone. But feel free. I'll ask G, or I mean, he's a giant. He won't touch my butt though. Not secure enough with himself. DC will though. DC has monster hands as well. He'll give me a good grope. Thanks, Josh. Oh my god, what has my life become? People have my arse groped. Sorry, I apologise for the scream a few minutes ago. Yeah, rip headphones. Sorry. Will FOIP replace Track IR? So Track IR is going to be better and quicker for aiming. 100%. Track IR is going to be quicker at aiming. It's built for that. Face over IP will allow you to do head tracking as well, though, but it won't be as accurate or as quick and responsive as Track IR is. I was taking a number 1. Do you know that BoredGamer is actually an alien who tries to invade and program us through our monitors? See, Marcel, now that you know the truth, I'm going to have to kill everyone. No. I mean, some of the comments I get are as mad as that people mean. So... love. When do you suspect 3.3.5 will drop? Probably in early November. That's what I'm thinking. Do you know if I get a Centurion subscription, if you get this CitizenCon 2948 digital goodies? I know you get it with the more expensive subscription, with the Imperator. Is it Imperator subscription? I'm not sure if you get it with the Centurion. I suspect you will, because I think the digital goodie pack is going to be the flare that you get for the month. Don't 100% quote me on that. They've got a quarterly release schedule. That's what they do. They do a quarterly release schedule, not a monthly one. I read an article earlier. Women are not NPCs and sex is not a side quest. Oh. Well, I've been doing it wrong. I've also been very bad at doing the side quests. I was hoping that I'd do all the beginnings of all those side quests and get to do them all towards the end of my life. Bigger ships, please. Wow. You never see Noel Edmonds on this live stream. You think I'm Noel Edmonds? We never see us together. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus. I think there's going to be a concept sale at CitizenCon. Yeah, probably a Kraken. Could be Titan suits, could be both. And there'll probably be a ship sale in general. It's their time that they make some of the most of their money for the year. Alright, what else we got? For the gropings! Oh, thanks. Well, I'll try to make sure someone gropes me. I'll say, I got paid $20 to be groped by you. And I look them straight in the eyes while they're groping me. From the video, you can see that there is 8 beds and a crew quarters and 1 bed on the captain's room. But there is just 8 escape pods who will die with the ship. Good point. Maybe they meant 9? You have to run out the back. That was for the Hammerhead Kieran was talking about there. What are your top 5 films of the past decade? Avengers Infinity War. I very much enjoyed that. Iron Man, because it's of the same set of films. I very much enjoyed Assault on Arkham.
I am going to buy so many spaceships.
Oh, Relapse, that's a lot of money. Thank you very much. Relapse, I love your face. I love your face more now that you've given me a load of money. Thank you so much. That's going... Oh my god, it's for beer as well! I don't have to spend it on shit. I can spend it on beer and holiday and food and stuff for beer. Thank you very much. You're a fucking legend. Oh, I love you guys. What else? What other films?
Top 10 films. Like fucking
beautiful.
Leo.
Last decade. Thank you very much. Oh, Relapse is giving me bits as well. Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you. There's not a cup there, but let's pretend my head's... I don't know. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Don't know. Other films that I love. I quite enjoyed Hardcore Henry the other day. I wouldn't say it's the best. One of the best films. I need to think about that. I'll have a think. Good to see you too. Thank you very much. Question see above. Since the character is Anvil, which is the most likely studio to make it? Probably the UK. Still, yeah. You love the style of Chris Smith and the stoner ships. You have a face ship dev. Spaceship? What? A favorite ship dev. No, not really. Not really. I think they're still developing a lot of the ways that the ships look in the pipeline and tweaking them. So the newer ones, anyway, the ones that haven't been finished. If CIG wants to make you an NPC mission giver, what kind of character would you want to play? Don't know. I mean, I'd probably be some sort of
Tricksy little hobbits.
shady land
You're
claim
awesome.
guy.
Hype.
Oh, Zero, thank you very much. 3.3.5 hype indeed. It's always be hype for the next patch after the one we're about to get. It's true of Star Citizen now. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I think I'd, if I got a choice, I'd like to be something to do with the economy or surveying and jumping people for land claims. Citaro, thank you very much. Oh my god, I'm getting what a bits! I don't know why I'm getting so excited. Thank you, very much appreciated. There's a lot of bits today, fuck. A lot of money, a lot of bits. What I do is sit here and talk and react to questions. But yeah, I think I'd like to do land claiming and surveying stuff. There's room in that for me. Scan me! Scan me! I'll do the voices as well. Thank you, citizen. You've come here to let's get some land claims. See, I've got the voices. I can do Japanese voice. No, it's not. Let's not go. No. Do a wide range of voices, some of which may be slightly racial. Oh no, he's been a racialist. Why do supermarkets put eggs in the dairy aisle when clearly eggs aren't a dairy product? But they're both on a farm. Boom. It's the farmyard section, mate. Things to do with they go off quickly. Sub hype indeed, thank you. So they've broken patch 3.3 into two patches, 3.3 and 3.3.5. Yeah, so it's not 3.5. 3.5 is not even this year, but 3.3.5 is this year. And the features that are breaking off to go into 3.3.5 are object container streaming and anything that was dependent on object container streaming, like Hurston and its moons. Tricksy little hobbitses. But I was jabbing the table. Do you think they might have premium apartments on Hurston for sale, similar to land claims last year, in addition to free habs outside Lawville, I mean? I think that they will be able to buy and rent more permanent apartments on planets and cities in the future with in-game currency. Doing impressions of other voices is not racist. I know. It's me. I didn't want to be too, go full role playing. I played a Russian at my mate Mike used to run a role play called Cold Horizon, where we'd go to a scout hut for a weekend, and it was a very small amount of players. There was like 20-ish, and then a load of staff for the event. And he ran it as a nightclub in space that was luxury, and he had proper chefs there cooking us amazing fucking food, and we could drink and have whatever we want at any time. And we just treat the staff like shit because they're all role players, and we were all playing these different characters that would all. And there was this game, and there was this cool software hacking thing going on, which everyone could hack. It was cool. It was a cool thing. Can't remember what I was doing. I was a Russian reporter called Vladimir Kozmanov. Good. In your opinion, will the game Star Citizen be considered late? I thought with the previous architecture rebuild, they would see more content come online with fewer delays. That is true, and previously still true. Object container streaming might not be too far delayed from the 3.3 patch. It's still going to be in 3.3.5. Star Citizen is actually starting to deliver now and getting stuff a lot quicker. They need those two core systems, object container streaming, and then server meshing, and then jump points. And I think then we're pretty set to get everything else in the game significantly quicker. They've got a load of resources now when it comes to manpower and a load of experience now. So, other than pool and basketball, what games do you think they should or could add? I guess it's bowling, Endeavour Biodome, golf. They could have a little golf game maybe, but card games are good. Little apps for the Mobilglass are good. I think they're gonna have chess and board games, stuff like that. I think they're on track at this point. I don't know what you mean by on track. I think need to see what they're going to do in 3.3.5 and how they're splitting it. They're on a track. I mean, the problem with Star Citizen is I have no doubt that it's going to be relatively good. Hopefully it's going to be great and some of the mechanics are going to be awesome that I love. It's just taking a long time. That's the issue. Are you sure that was roleplay? Are you sure we weren't just like, what, on a normal night out? No. It was a roleplay. They're proper roleplay events. I get paid to go there. Fucking great laugh. They had the casino and stuff they made there. Oh my god, I was so drunk throughout. Oh, all I have to go and board to take care. Oh, you've got to go. Love you, Stormfire. Sorry, I'm not very good at reading today. Procedural food when? I mean, they probably will have some form of light procedural food tech for people eating in the mess hall because they can. When is the anniversary sale? Anniversary sale, so we assume. I love their streams and people's questions. Anniversary live stream will be November. And then we have holiday live stream in December. Love. Will they ever do Star Citizen War at the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic? Star Wars the Old Republic. Crossover. So they're still planning to be able to have the game moddable and private servers eventually. So potentially people could make mods like that for it. Any other questions before I run off and eat? Today I've eaten a small bowl of soup and a piece of toast. And I am fucking starving. So I want to eat. Food truck ship when? Wow. And I'm really hungry and you're asking these shit questions. I think there actually will be some roleplay involved with people doing stuff like that. And if they do have the need for people to eat and drink, that is not too ridiculous an idea. A food ship truck. So 3.3.5 for anniversary. Or potentially. I see what you mean. Yeah, I think early November for 3.3.5 though. It'll be ready when it's ready, sort of thing. On a serious note, I would love to see a floating board game ahead as my in-cockpit in Galactopedia. Oh, thank you very much. Good G7 G. Call you G. I would be a lot more bored as a gamer if not for Bored Gamer. Oh my god, you've blown my fucking mind with that statement. Thank you very much appreciated. No, okay, G. Oh god, okay, no, you can be G still. G. Oh my god, G. He's so needy. He's so needy. Right, I'm gonna go eat. Is anyone streaming? Are you streaming, G? Is anyone around to stream? Bored Gamer. Bam. I'll check the questions out quick before I go. You need to fight for your name now. I'll check the questions. My eyes isn't working properly. Oh fuck. I'm gonna have an eye test at some point. Right, anyone streaming Ubernet. We're gonna go and give Ubernet some love. Right. Fucking love you guys. Thanks for the love. Oh, you often mention light survival mechanics. How would you describe that more exactly? So, they've talked about survival mechanics in Star Citizen. However, they have not defined them yet. They've said you might need to eat and drink. You might need to wash and shower. and that sort of stuff. So they've got kitchens, they've got bathrooms, so they need to utilize them in some way. Now, they're not going to want players constantly eating or constantly drinking. It's not going to be sort of like No Man's Sky, constantly having to look at your stats or anything. So when I say light survival mechanics, what I mean is that you don't have to run out, kill a wolf, and eat its face to survive every 10 seconds and drink water constantly. I suspect them to be lighter survival mechanics. And when I say light, they might not even be... they might not even kill you if you don't do them. They might debuff you. They might have some other issues. I was hoping that we'd just have, and we're not even sure if they're going to have them 100%. They're probably going to have them, but we're not 100% sure. I'd like them if they were just for your NPCs. Like, if you have access to food and facilities on your ship that are stocked, then your NPCs are cheaper, or maybe they work more effectively, or something like that. But that's what I mean by light survival mechanics. That you might need to eat and drink, but you're not going to have to do it very often. And if you do, it probably isn't going to be terrible if you don't for a long period of time. Is the ship rental store on Hurston? I believe it is. With the Pioneer ship coming at some point, you think we'll see Pioneer real estate? Well, we'll have land climb at some point, and we'll have some missions to do with placing outposts and outpost construction stuff in the future. Love. Question. Big ships like the Reclaimer, Starfire, and Hammerhead have kitchens. With interior customization, can we put a Pips and a Beanies machine on them? Oh, wow. I think we will actually have some customization when it comes to what appliances are in a kitchen and what tables and things are on those tables and stuff. It might be quite basic, like you can have the marble kitchen set, or you can have this other kitchen set with these things. And they might not actually make much difference, but they might just look a bit different. So I think there are going to be customization options like that. Any idea if we'll be able to name mountains and rivers as such? Any name you'd want to use? I can't think of any off the top of my head that I'd want to use personally. Probably name like stuff off my cats and things to start with, and then stupid names, in jokes and things. But I'm not sure if we're going to be able to name stuff. Like, it depends on how the mapping of stuff works, and then it depends on how they want to do exploration and discovery. If you can name stuff, great. I mean, you could name it, and it could be its name. Maybe you have to pay to name stuff. Maybe they could have that mechanic. Wouldn't expect it, but you could have it. You were just trolling with the survival mechanics question, and I'll deal with fuck you. Fucking burn. No, that's okay. It's okay. Thank you. I will go eat. Thank you very much for the love, guys. Thank you very much for the kisses and the money and the subs. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go host Ubernerd / Radaru Ubernerd. Give him some love. You take care, guys. I will catch you soon. I'll get a breakdown of the Hammerhead stuff from RTV up probably tomorrow, and a breakdown of the changes on the roadmap. I might do them as separate videos. I might not. Depends on how much information's there. I might just do it as part of the normal news. We'll see. We'll see if we break it down 2 separate videos or a single video or what. Love you guys. You take care, and I'll see you in the verse. This is... Woo! Woo!